Welcome to the Right Lane with Kelvin Lane. Thank you for tuning in for week 6 of the college football season. Now we'd like to get into a recap of week 5 games that we covered last week. First game we'd like to get into is the Clemson North Carolina game. I said that probably going to be a pretty close game, and it was. I thought that Clemson should have took a loss. Trevor Lawrence I guess he's having a sophomore jinx, or maybe he was just overrated. But he really didn't play that well. His stats from the game were he had 206 yards, 1 touchdown on 18 of 30 passing, and 45 yards rushing. So North Carolina almost pulled off the upset, but they failed to convert a 2-point conversion at I think it was about 2 minutes left in the game. Under 2 minutes left in the game. Mac Brown decided to go for the 2-point conversion. He said he figured they were tired, so he said that talent usually wins out, and he figured that Clemson had more talent than they did, and they would catch up with them. But I thought they should have kicked the extra point and sent it to overtime. But nonetheless, Clemson prevailed. Close but no cigar. But I think Clemson will have a long season this year. I think they probably still go undefeated, but I don't know if they'll be able to pull it all off like they did last year. Next game we'd like to get into is the Ole Miss-Alabama game. Number 2 Alabama beat Ole Miss by the score of 59-31. Tua Tagovailoa was 26 of 36 for 418 yards and 6 touchdowns. Wide receiver Devontae Smith had 11 receptions and 274 yards and 5 touchdowns for the Tide. Devontae Smith actually set a Tide school record with 5 touchdowns. That was a great game. Like Nick Saban got another monster there in Tuscaloosa. I also like to get into the Ohio State-Nebraska game. Justin Fields continued to have a monster season. He was 15 of 21 for 212 yards and still hasn't thrown an interception this season. He also added 72 yards rushing to his resume. So that's my Heisman dark horse, and he's continued to impress me. Makes me look good. And J.K. Dobbins also had 24 rushes for 177 yards and 1 touchdown. But Nebraska just had a terrible game plan. Scott Frost. Right now, it's dumpster fire. You should stay in Central Florida. That's your best chance of getting glory. My saying was, in Nebraska, nobody wants to go out there to play. I mean, you got to keep up with the times. There's nothing that it's not offering kids anything. Yeah, I mean, you was in the state of Florida, in Orlando. You got Disneyland, SeaWorld. Man, you got everything in Orlando, and they never won before. You should have stayed in Orlando. Should have stayed with Central Florida and built a dynasty there. Nebraska quarterback Martinez, he threw 3 interceptions in his first 4 series of the game, making pretty much sealed the fate. So Scott Frost is 3-2 right now, but I think the season only gonna get worse. The next game I'd like to get into is Oklahoma versus Texas Tech with Jalen Hurts. Right now I got him number 1 in my Heisman voting right now. I got Justin Fields number 2. But Jalen Hurts he was 17 of 24, 415 yards, 3 touchdowns and 1 INT. And receiver CeeDee Lamb, he also had 7 receptions, 185 yards and 3 touchdowns. Hurts also contributed 9 carries for 70 yards. He did throw one pick on the game, but I think he did the right thing by transferring. Next game I'd like to get into is Mississippi State versus Auburn Tigers. Auburn defeated Mississippi State by the score of 56-23, with Bo Nix leading the way when he was 16 of 21 for 335 yards and 2 touchdowns. and Seth Williams had 8 receptions for 161 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Gators gonna put something on them this week. We're gonna come back and get revenge. Auburn's always a pretty good team against us, so I just wish we didn't schedule for homecoming. But Roll Gators, we're gonna do our job. Next game I'd like to get into is Northwestern versus Wisconsin. Wisconsin defeated Northwestern by the score 24-15. With Jonathan Taylor, he led the Badgers over a feisty Northwestern squad. Taylor had 26 carries for 119 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now it's time to get crunk. Hey, my favorite time. We're talking about those mighty Gators. Last week, those mighty Gators, we played the great Townsend State University. It was a tough game. Townsend played tremendous. Like to give them a big shout out for coming out and giving us their all. But when you play the mighty Gators, you know you're gonna come in on the short end of the stick. Roll Gators. So I'd just like to give a big shout out to Kyle Trask. We found our quarterback. He's gonna lead us to victory this week against Auburn for homecoming. It is what it is. A lot of Gator haters out there. I know you're turning over in your sleep. All you can think about is there's alligators are coming. There's alligators in the swamp. But Kyle Trask, he led the mighty Roll Gators over a tough Townsend team. He finished the day 18 of 20 passing with 2 touchdowns. He threw for 188 yards. Townsend had a surprisingly good quarterback in Tom Flacco. Joe Flacco's younger brother of the Denver Broncos. Got to give him a good shot. They brought their best. They brought their A game. They probably would have beat 90% of the other teams in the nation the way they came out and played us. But the mighty Gators, we like an NFL team. We like men amongst boys. Roll Gators. Next game we're gonna move into is Notre Dame versus Virginia. Notre Dame actually bounced back. I thought Virginia might surprise them, but Notre Dame actually had a good game. They gave the Cavaliers the first loss of the season. Bryce Perkins was 30 of 43 for 334 yards and 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. But Ian Book led the Irishman, going 17 of 25 for 165 yards. And Tony Jones Jr. had 131 yards on 18 carries and 3 touchdowns. Now we're going to get into the University of Central Florida Knights versus University of Connecticut. UCF bounced back. They took that loss. But what can I say? We may fall down, but we always get back up. Dylan Gabriel led Central Florida to a 56-21 victory over UConn. The Knights came out guns blazing following last week's loss to Pitt. And now we get into those Florida State Seminoles. Chief Osceola gave me this. He gave me this. And this is something I gotta say, I know I've been down on Seminoles a lot. It's only because I want the best for the Seminoles, because I am a Florida representative. And I go back a long ways following the Seminoles. I go back in days, when Florida State had Sammy Smith, Charlie Ward, Casey Weldon, Brad Johnson, Peter Tom Willis, Terrell Buckley. So this right here, I'm not used to Florida State starting the season out 1-2. But I gotta say that I'm glad that they did win, and I hope they get back on the top of the mountain, because it's lonely when you're at the top. But hey, you know what, Florida State, I'm glad you guys won. You had a good game last week. FSU defeated NC State by the score of 31-13 behind Alex Hornibrook, who led the Noles with 316 yards on 29 of 40 attempts. FSU might be going through the same thing Florida going through. They might be doing better with this backup quarterback. Cam Akers also ran for 83 yards and 1 touchdown on 17 carries. This win gives FSU a record of 3-2 and currently third place in the Atlantic division of the ACC. So I'd like to give a shout out to the Noles. Y'all handle your business. Things are looking good. Came in and put the fire out. You know, there was a fire. There was a fire going on in Tallahassee. They had Willie out. Willie Taggle's house on fire, but we don't put it out. We don't call the fire department, and we put the fire out. So now all I gotta say, Willie, you owe me one. You put the fire out. I'm gonna take you off the hot seat. Because you did very well. You got the victory. I said before the season, I thought that Florida State could probably go about 8-4. And I really think that you still have a shot of finishing the season 8-4, because you should be able to beat everybody else except for Clemson. Clemson gonna thump you, and the mighty Gators. You already know what we're gonna do to you. But other than that, you have a good season. 8-4 is very realistic, and all I'd like to say is roll Gators. Go Seminoles. Now it's time for our right lane player of the week. This week our right lane player of the week is Devontae Smith from the University of Alabama, wide receiver, who had a monster week last week. Set a school record. He had 11 receptions for 274 yards and 5 touchdowns. He averaged almost 28 yards a catch. That is amazing. But if my mighty Gators have to see him, we're going to put the clamps down on him. Yeah, we already sent out word. We got the spies. We're going to kidnap him. We're going to put him in the trunk until the game's over. Roll Gators. Now we're going to get into our coaches on the hot seat. We took Mr. Willie Taggart off, and we had to replace him with Scott Frost. Scott Frost, you in trouble. Pretty much by the end of the season, you're going to be flushed right down the toilet. You should have stayed in the Sunshine State. You should have stayed with Florida. You should have stayed in Central Florida. Like I said, you got Orlando there. Pretty scenery. A lot of kids want to come there. Everybody want to come to Disneyland. But yet you want to go out into cornfields in Nebraska. Not a good look. Now, if you recruit my child, I don't know. I might send him out there. But you should have stayed in Central Florida, where you had everything all mapped out and planned out. You're pretty much walking around on air. Next coach we got on the hot seat is the one and only Mr. Jeremy Pruitt from Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee right now is just a dumpster fire. It can't be put out. I really don't think that there's nothing that any coach can do right now at Tennessee. I don't think that you can right any wrong there. probably should have kept Phil Fulmer when you had him. Ever since you let Phil Fulmer go, instead of been spiraling down. You know, it's about like a song that I remember. It was by Christian. It goes, "Watching my life go down, watching my life go down." And that's what happens when you go against those mighty Gators. Can't spell citrus without UT. As the words of Florida great coach Steve Spurrier said, "Thank God they kick field goals and don't go for touchdowns." And the last coach who we put on the hot seat is the one and only Derek Mason from Vanderbilt. He's 1-3 right now, and every year Vanderbilt keeps getting worse. Yeah, Derek Mason. If you don't tighten up, you're gonna be out of there.
It's a long road ahead.
You gotta get off the pot. Roll Gators. Now I'd like to get into our Facebook comments from last week. First comment we'd like to get into is from LC King. And he states that, "I need you guys to talk about the Razorbacks a little more." Well, Mr. LC King, we'll talk about the Razorbacks. They're terrible. They lost again last week. Probably gonna lose again this week and the week after. The only games y'all probably gonna lose are the weeks where you don't have a game. You probably still lose. You know, but on all seriousness, Mr. King, the Razorbacks just haven't really been good since Darren McFadden left. You know, maybe you need to pay the players. You know they got to pay for pay. You got to pay for pay now. Hey, maybe you need to get you probably need to get your state representatives and whatnot to act like California, so you can go ahead and start paying players for the likeness, so you can get better recruits there. Because right now y'all are just y'all in trouble. Actually, I take that back. When Bobby Petrino was there, y'all did have a good team, which was actually after Darren McFadden. So maybe you need to get Bobby Petrino back. Hey, who knows? And next comment I'd like to get into is Mr. GQ Jonas. He says Florida State definitely needs more energy on the sideline. Like I said before, the coaches are not being leaders, but I believe we will beat NC State this weekend. And by the way, Michigan is trash. Jim got to go. I agree with you on that, Mr. GQ Jonas. I also have a comment from Mr. Jermaine Ford, who says, "I got to believe in Willie T right now. We can't afford to fire him because if we want any kind of recruiting class, we can't fire him this season, period. Also, it's not like Jimbo lit it up his last 2 years. You're right about that. I've been saying that. As a matter of fact, I just said that at the barbershop today, that Jimbo was 6-6 his last season there. So it wasn't like he left a lot of talent at Florida State when he left. The cover was bare. You know, you don't have a program up and running and then fall down 6-6. You know, it's about like I was saying with Bobby Bowden when he fell down to 7-6. You know, it was time for him to go because you don't have a program that's up and running in national championship contention, and then you fall to 500. It's time to make coaching changes. When Spurrier fell down to a 500 club in South Carolina, he quit. So I totally agree with you on that one. And also we have Mr. Jermaine Ford again. He said, "I need the update on the nose game this past week from Kelvin Lane on his next podcast." Yeah, I know you won.
You gotta stop being more
And I'm glad that the Seminoles won
alright?
because I was tired of seeing the sad faces. It really hurt me to my heart because I actually have a couple of friends and relatives that are Florida State Seminole fans, and then they come crying on my shoulder, and then I go to crying. I feel bad. I don't even feel good picking them no more. So I am glad that you won, and I must say, great game. And I want y'all to continue to win until y'all play the Mighty Gators. You will kick your head in. Roll Gators. Now we're gonna get into Daddy's Games of the Week. Games to watch. Brought to you by Daddy's Pre-Workout. I'd just like to ask you to do me a favor. You know, when Daddy looking at the game, if Daddy falls asleep, don't you cut that TV. Don't you turn it. People, Daddy still can hear. Daddy be asleep. Cut the channel. Don't you cut that TV off. Change that channel. Daddy can still watch TV. All you do is bring Daddy something to drink and something to eat. And if he sleep, make sure his head propped up so he don't get a crook in his neck. The first game we're gonna get into that Daddy wanna watch is Utah State at LSU. You know I gotta roll with LSU on this radio. LSU probably gonna put over about 50, 60 points on Utah State. But LSU's defense is lacking. So that's why you know those mighty Gators, we're gonna roll right over those Tigers. Roll Gators. Next game we'll get into is number 6 Oklahoma at Kansas. I don't think Les Miles in Kansas has a chance. There's a saying that they have a better chance of walking through hell with gasoline drawers on. Yeah, Kansas is gonna get beat to death, but Jalen Hurts is gonna have another great game. He might win Heisman on this game. Ooh. You know what time it is, too. Go Gators, mighty Gators. Yes, the best game of the week. Now this is Daddy must-watch game. Number 7, Auburn Tigers and the mighty Florida Gators in the Swamp. This is actually the first matchup between two top 10 unbeaten teams in the Swamp since 2012 when Florida played number 4 LSU. And it's actually Florida had 11 wins that season, so that should tell you something. 11 regular season wins. This year we'll have 12 regular season wins on our way to going to the SEC championship to see Nick Saban. I'm calling it right now. And if Nick ain't careful, we'll put the Texas two-step on him too. But we got to go with the Gators this weekend to crush the Auburn title dreams. Roll Gators. Our next game I'd like to get into is Virginia Tech and the Miami Hurricanes. All right, come on now, Canes. Y'all got to bounce back the same way FSU has. So now we got to handle business against Virginia Tech. I'm tired of seeing y'all faces too. Shoot, the History Channel don't even want y'all no more. And man, if y'all lose this game right here, it's over. They're talking about putting y'all on PBS. Hey, I'm just trying to tell you. Y'all need to get rid of the turnover chain. Because since you had the turnover chain, it ain't been working. So, I'm wishing for the best for those Miami Hurricanes. The next game we're going to get into is Georgia at Tennessee. Everybody beating Tennessee. So, Georgia probably going to beat them by 42. Jake Fromm probably have a great game. DeAndre Swift might run for 200 or 300 yards. Jeremy Pruitt, you out of there. It's only gonna get worse. Another trash team is Number 25, Michigan. Jim Harbaugh. I don't even think y'all should be even ranked. You shouldn't even be ranked. But they're going to travel into Columbus, Ohio this weekend to take on Justin Fields and Ohio State Buckeyes. I think that Michigan, they should get beat by at least 2 touchdowns. They're probably going to come out and try to play pretty good though. But when it's all said and done, Justin Fields is going to be a name that Michigan Wolverines will always remember. Moving to another Big Ten game. It's number 8, Wisconsin, playing at home against Kent State. Jonathan Taylor should have another monster day. I'm looking for him to go at least for $150, probably 2 or 3 touchdowns before they sit him down and rest him for next week's games. Now we're going to move into the Big Ten with number 25, Michigan State. We'll be traveling to Columbus, Ohio to play number 4, Ohio State. I got to roll with Justin Fields. They have a great game. Hope for Michigan State. Michigan State just don't put up points. They usually have pretty feisty defenses, but if you don't put any points up, you ain't gonna beat nobody. And Justin Fields is a monster. So I think him and J.K. Dobbins, that 1-2 punch is gonna be a little bit too much for Michigan State. Like I say, they don't put points up. So I just don't see how Michigan State can even stay in the ball game. Also standing to the Big Ten, we also have a daddy game of the week. Wisconsin, number 8, Wisconsin. We'll be playing Kent State with Jonathan Taylor. I predict he'll probably go for about $150, 2 or 3 touchdowns before they set him down and rest him for next week. Another daddy pre-workout game of the week we have is number 14, Iowa, and number 19, Michigan. Jim Harbaugh, you better prevail against Iowa, because if not, it might be your last weekend there. They're already trying to get you out of there. So I think it's time to put up a shut up. Can't afford to take a loss to Iowa. I think Iowa, if they knock you in the head, you can cancel Christmas. I also would like to move into the University of Central Florida at UConn game. Charlie. If you let UConn beat you, you might not need to come back to Tampa. They might give you a Greyhound bus ticket to get back to Tampa. You might not even be catching a flight with the team. But I'm gonna go with USF. I ain't got no choice. Charlie, you better tighten up though. And our last game of the week that we have this week is number 18, University of Central Florida at Cincinnati. I got to go with Central Florida. The Knights, I think they'll take care of business against Cincinnati. And now it's time for our local athlete of the week, Chris Cummins Jr. He's 6 foot, 172 pounds, a redshirt freshman at Florida Tech, located in Melbourne, Florida. Before we end this segment, I'd like to just give my input on something that was brought to my attention by one of my close friends who was asking me what did I feel about the paying players for their likeness in the NCAA, and I think it's a great idea. I think that players should be paid, and I've heard certain coaches. I heard Tim Tebow saying that he doesn't think that players should be paid because he went to Florida because his granddad went to Florida. You know, my whole thing on that is a lot of players, granddaddies never played at a university or never even attended college for that matter. And then I think it's kind of hypocritical for him to say that when if Florida was the only place that he wanted to go, why did he come down to Alabama and Florida? I think the players should get paid. The universities make so much money, especially all the major universities, Florida State, Miami. You know, there's 3 major schools in Florida that makes a lot of money from football. Now Central Florida's even making a lot of money from football. I mean, and you got coaches, Dabo Swinney. He says that he doesn't think that players should get paid, but he got a 10-year, $93 million contract. How about you coach for free? I don't see any coaches coaching for free because they love the game that much. But yet you're asking individuals to go out here and play and risk being injured and hurt and bring the school back millions of dollars, and you don't think that they should see any benefits off of that? I think that's kind of crazy. So I think it's about time. I think that the NCAA, it's about time for them to get on board with what California is doing. So everybody's gonna have to follow suit, because if not, California gonna have the best football programs in the nation. But I also saw what Ohio is taking first steps to get the state legislators in order to enact a similar law of that same bill, so they can pay players for the likeness. And until next week, roll Gators.